Sasha, I want to lead right into our first group of our first phase, which we're calling a preparation phase, right? In this phase, obviously, we've said that you already know you want to become a business owner. You want to open up a dental practice, so that decision's been made, right? You're coming in, and we're saying in this phase, it's always best and recommended to talk to a expert pro, someone that's experienced this from the beginning to the end, someone that understands what it takes to find a location, build it, and run the business in order to understand and provide and put together a game plan together, right? For example, having a business plan, knowing what kind of business you're gonna do, how your dentistry is gonna operate, so to speak, and understanding what you need to accomplish that, right? So once you're done talking to this expert, you should determine what kind of marketing plan, what kind of financial plan, what kind of business plan, and what kind of space you're gonna be looking to get.
So I think it's fair to say this expert has to be an expert in multiple facets, not a real estate expert. That's the point I think you're driving across for our students.
Sure. And we're saying, it helps if they have a real estate background. It helps if they have a financial background. It helps if they have a construction background. But we're talking about somebody that's been through the entire thing themselves, has experienced it themselves, has had financial risk in it themselves, knows what to expect and what's been through it, right? Because like you said in the beginning, and you always say is, this is customizable. This is not a one size fit all. It's not once you do it this way, that's it. Everybody's business plan is different. Everybody's business idea is different. Yes, it's all dentistry, but it is different type of business at the end of the day. So yes, the expert needs to be able to navigate you so that you understand at the end of the day what the big picture looks like.
Okay.
Once you figure that out, you're going into finding a location. So talk to me a little bit about finding a location.
Well, yes, you're correct, finding a location. I try to actually group up finding a location as well as lending and finances, because in my mind, they kind of go simultaneously. But let's start with finding a space. How do we even start finding a space? The complexities involved with the perfect location for a dental office differ from location to location, state to state, city to city. So having an expert, like Art mentioned, with a consultant on your side who can get the foot in the door and asking the right questions to make sure your real estate professional and your consultant know what you're looking for when it comes to operatory size, number of operatories, dental office size, growth size. A big thing people forget about in real estate is dentistry grows. It grows faster than you think it's going to grow. It's a good problem to have, but it's something that you always have to be prepared for. The other step that I mentioned that runs simultaneous is lending. It's a joke, but without money you can't really do anything. So it'd be nice to find your dream location. It'd be nice to find this amazing consultant, but without the money backing it, there's no point moving forward. So that's why I say it kind of works simultaneously. So you want to make sure you get your pre-approvals in order, make sure you don't have any debt issues, you don't have any debt to income issues, while looking for the space simultaneous, because it's not a one-day thing. That's something that a lot of doctors ask me, like, Sasha, how much time is it going to take me to find a space? I mean, you can find a space in a week, or it could take you 6 to 8 months. It really just depends on the market you're looking at.
Right, and the number one thing that I've seen doctors go through is you want to, on that first step of talking to a pro, figuring out your business plan, you want to narrow down a location as much as possible based on your business plan, based on your marketing plan, based on your financials. So you want to narrow it down. What I mean by that is we've had clients where they're looking all over the place. And if you're that type of client that you're looking everywhere in the state of Virginia or everywhere in the state of California, it will take you a long time to find a place because you don't know where you want to be. Once you have that figured out, your business plan is figured out, you know approximately where you want to be. And if you're serious about it, I always say it's not going to be too hard to find a space that fits your needs.
So now that you've found a couple of good options for spaces, you've got your pre-approval, your lending in order, then comes the next step, which is called the study period. The study period is where you want to get an expert contractor or an expert architect involved to check out the building, which is something called the building study, to make sure there isn't any cost issues or things that might pop up later. You want to do a demographic study, which is just a study of the area and the building's location. And a very important step that a lot of people kind of forget about is understanding the zoning, code analysis, and permit analysis, just to make sure that there won't be any hiccups or issues when building a dental office before you put in your offer.
Sure. Yeah, and a lot of people go in and, at this stage they have maybe one, two, currently I have a client that has 3 spaces in mind. And once you go through and do your building study, you go through and you do your code analysis and your demographics, you now know from those 3 spaces which one you want to concentrate on. And your next step is, talking to the realtor to formulate an offer. Once that offer goes in, once you do the negotiating of the terms, you want to bring in an attorney to do your lease evaluation on the liability side and make sure it's all kosher with the liabilities you're going to go through. Now, this step also involves 3 simultaneous process, because you're going to bring in an attorney, an expert attorney that is very, very, very knowledgeable in commercial leases, and is also very knowledgeable in the dental commercial leases. That always helps. You also want to bring in a CPA as well, so that the CPA can also discuss your financial setup, your tax setup, and all that. And simultaneously, you want to be talking to a insurance agent. These 3 are technically at the same time. And if I don't categorize them at the same time, what happens is people forget. Like, they get all the way to the end, they're ready to sign their lease, they're ready to sign their loan. The bank is asking for insurances. And they're not set up. I get calls at the end where people are like, Art, they're asking for my insurance. Is this normal? Yeah, most of the time, all the time, you are going to be needed to be insured for the bank purposes as well as for the landlord's purposes. If you're leasing the space, especially if you're buying it for the bank purposes, because they want to make sure the space is insured. So absolutely, you would be hunting for insurances. You'll be talking to a CPA for your financial, as well as your attorney to do your the contract, the lease contract and stuff.
So just to recap the 4 steps involved in the preparation phase, there was finding an expert, finding a location, as well as getting your lending in order. If you remember, that's kind of a simultaneous step. Your study period, that was your building study, your feasibility study, the code analysis, and putting in an offer. So putting an offer included getting an attorney involved, a CPA involved, and hunting for your insurances. So that's just a quick breakdown of the 4 steps we think are involved in the preparation phase. And as we move forward, you'll see how they affect the following phases.